everybody doing? Johnny here with the wide eyes and no spectacles. He said he couldn't
I
find
know.
his
I can't
glasses.
find my glasses, man. I can't see
So,
without my glasses.
so now's your chance to punk the shit out of him if if
Oh
he's got
yeah.
his DMs. Oh no, I didn't wear a hat. I'm not covering the hairline.
That's all
The
right.
kids will know I'm old.
Well, yeah.
Good thing my audience isn't young at all. So that'll be okay then. We'll do fine.
Mm.
So tonight, what are we talking about? We're talking about the dire wolf, the de-extinction, unextinction? No, de-extinction sounds better. The dire wolf. What do you
Shit.
think of that, Johnny?
Shit. I
Or
forgot
the
to find that fucking short story.
Oh, were you looking for a short story on a dire wolf or what?
No, I told you about this. We talked about it last week.
Oh yeah, that's right. You worked on
Yeah.
a short story for which was it?
I wrote a
It
short
was
story
sci-fi, the
for
Sci-Fi Channel.
No, not the
Or
Sci-Fi
YouTube.
Channel. I should look
Not
at
like on TV. There's like a sci-fi YouTube channel, is there not?
No. I did this for science fiction class. It was a literature.
Oh,
class.
I misunderstood you. This is way less important. Psh,
Yeah, no.
I'm kidding.
You're right. It
Johnny
really
knows
is.
I joke. But yeah, no, yeah, it's too bad you didn't find that. We could have looked at it.
I know where it is. I could probably grab it like in 2 seconds. So I'm gonna do that.
I mean, if you want to grab it, you can grab it.
I'll be right back.
Absolutely. Okay. We have lost the beautiful hum of Johnny's equipment. It's forever lost to us. How's everybody doing out there? We got, let me get into the comments here. Bridge the Divide. What are you drongos up to? Talking about we're talking about mutant gray wolves. You nailed it. Buddy got this figured out. As long as it's only the internet. Oh no. Oh, you're talking to somebody else about something else. Let's see here. I need a live stream today. A cyclone is about to hit where I am, and I don't know when the internet is about to die. Well, I am glad that you would spend your last moments with us. Okay. No, hopefully you're quite all right. I'm sure that the cyclone won't. Wait, cyclone. So where are you based out of? They don't call them cyclones in America, do they? That am I not correct? I mean, you can call it a cyclone, but is that not a Asian term for a tornado? And aren't they literally called tornadoes in America and cyclones in Asia? Or am I thinking of the wrong thing here? Or am I thinking of hurricanes and I'm just a stupid North Americaner? It's possible. What's up, Jackalope Herdmaster? How you doing, buddy? We're just waiting on Johnny to get back, and then we're going to talk about dire wolves and the implications of having our own Jurassic Park. Okay, I am going to take Team Pro Jurassic Park, and I have listen. If anybody watched the last stream, I said I was going to get a five point presentation ready, and I have that 5-point presentation. And when the time is right, we are going to go through my presentation on why Jurassic Park will be okay. I think you guys, I just want you all to know there's been a lot of like hype. I know there's been movies that, they've made a big deal out of it, but I just want you to know that like this dream can be a reality. Okay, everybody, just remember that if you wish hard enough, we can do this. Listen. Previous movies may have portrayed this as something that was undoable by man, but I think when I'm done my presentation, you will understand that there is nothing but profit to be made here. Okay? And now that we've got that out of the way, I just wanted full disclosure, okay? We will make money. Cyclone south, hurricane north. Oh. See, I suck. And New Zealand on the Coromandel Peninsula. I butchered that. Coromandel. I don't know how else you pronounce that actually, so I think I did okay. Dire wolves and pillars under the pyramids. Overblown story. No, listen. I think the pillars under the pyramids is more bullshit than the dire wolf thing. The only thing is that the dire wolves, I mean, they didn't make dire wolves because dire wolves are dead. They made mutant gray wolves because it's like 99% of the DNA is gray wolf. Johnny, where is Johnny gone? This is supposed to be a 2-man show. Dream or nightmare? I don't know. I think that we can do it. I believe in our ability to make a Jurassic Park, okay? And as soon as I get my co-host back...
Okay, I lied. I don't know where it is. I thought I did.
He has no fucking idea where it is. Here,
I
just
do.
for that,
I have
we're
an
going to
idea.
do the
idea of what it is.
Well, I gotta bring us back here. But okay, so Johnny,
Mhm.
anything you want to say about us unextincting the gray wolf and making it look like a dire wolf? We didn't unextinct the gray wolf.
I
You
was
don't
gonna
have to.
say first the gray wolf would have to be extinct.
We are well on our way to
We
extincting
are
it. Okay, so we are doing a great job right now.
hundred
In
percent
fact, we're just diversifying early at this point. We want to
right.
make sure we are ready. Like,
That's true.
so, yeah.
I do find it funny that out of all the animals we could de-extinct first, we decide to go with an apex predator that could probably fuck all of us up.
Oh, come on. You're making it seem like it's one of those saber-tooth things like in the movies. Like it's gonna like drive its fangs into our collars.
That's
I saw
exactly
the
what's gonna
gray.
happen.
I would have listen, Liam Neeson got nothing on this, okay? I would have fucking right to you know. Anybody else watch The Gray? Who's seen The Gray? It's a good movie if you like hopeless situations.
Right.
And watching people get picked off one by one until there's nothing left but nothingness.
See, well, Liam Neeson.
Did you see it? You saw it, I take
Of course,
it.
yeah. Liam
Okay,
Neeson
yeah.
needed that because he was doing that action thing. What the fuck was that called?
Are you talking about Taken?
Yeah,
Like the
where he was
movies?
like,
Oh, yeah.
we're like he's this 80-year-old badass just fucking killing everybody. I'm like, get fucked.
Hold on. He is. I actually like what happened to his. Obviously, his wife passed away in a skiing accident in Canada. Blame Canada. And then
that's
after
right.
that, he was set loose on the world, and there was nothing holding him back. He
Yeah.
will find you, okay? And when he finds you, he possesses a whole bunch of skills and all that shit. Whatever.
Particular set of skills. Yeah.
I liked the Gray. You know what I liked about the Gray? I liked. You knew he had demons through the movie. Spoiler
Yeah.
alert. Don't listen to the next 45 seconds if you don't want to know.
Oh, fuck off.
You
That
knew
movie
he had
came out in, like
demons.
2010.
I know. You knew he had demons when the movie's going through him. You didn't quite. You're getting glimpses of them, and then it's only in like the last moments of the movie that you see the full flashback of that, like his wife was sick, hospital, all that, and then the poem of the Gray. It was very actually. I found it kind of moving. I'll be honest with you. Like that.
No, it's a good
and
movie.
and that poem is obviously about fighting until the death, like literally giving it your everything until there's nothing left to give. And of course, the movie ends with him taping the fucking taping the knife to his hand and taping the wine bottles from the airplane in between his fingers, smashing them, getting ready to turns them into fucking glass brass knuckles, and he's
Yeah.
ready to go. Right. So I
Yep.
thought it was a. And then I was like, man, maybe they'll do a number 2. It's like, nah, he died in that den.
I mean,
That
the
was
only
the whole
thing,
point of it.
the only thing doing a number 2 is the bear that fucking ate him.
The bear that dragged his dead carcass away afterwards. Like,
That's the only one doing a number 2.
the guy that had the most brutal death in the movie was the guy who drowned. Like, the guy
I
who
don't know- I
drowned
don't-
in the river.
Yeah,
Like,
I don't know what's
it
worse.
was so
drowning-
brutal.
Yeah, or drowning in a cold river. Because what gets you first? Is it the hypothermia?
It was just the way it's such a normal situation. Like, nothing was happening. They were like laughing. He like tripped. The
Yeah.
log like shifted or something, and it just dangled him in the water and fucking drowned him like that. And it was like, 1 minute the guy's talking to him. 45 seconds later, we've got the only other character left in the movie dead. It's
Yeah.
like, just executed him, just like, and I remember being like, wow, that was fucking just,
That was
like,
brutal.
the only person that had a worse did you ever see the newer Poseidon Adventure with Kurt Russell?
I did. I think once.
His drowning scene was a little bit almost too much for me, because like they show him like
Yeah.
as he's like
so
filling up with, as he's like kicking, his legs are twitching and shit.
One
I'm like,
thing
that
about-
was a lot of camera action. Like, they got right in on him.
One thing about that's one thing that gets me in films, right? I can Hey Kelly, I can watch some of the most like brutally disgusting fucking kills in horror films or whatever. I'm like, whatever, that's dumb shit. But people who are like suffocating or drowning for some reason, it's like a bang. There's like a visceral reaction. You know what I mean? Where I'm like, I feel like I
don't know,
can't
it's
breathe.
Just, yeah. I just remember being like, this wasn't ready for that amount of like. it was like they were like, look into Kurt's eyes while he fucking takes his
Yeah.
last breath. Like
Right.
it was a pretty intimate scene. I was like,
Yeah, yeah.
oh, I didn't expect it to be that. Like usually there's like camera angles, a little bit of drama.
Yeah.
No, they just were like, just watch this guy drown. Like
Yep.
you're like, oh, okay. There's no
Look
special
here.
camera angles. Just
Yeah.
just watch it happen. We're gonna stay here for 60 seconds, baby.
That's right.
It's like holy shit. And I mean, I guess it might have been the right move because it made me feel that way, and I remember it.
Yep.
That's kind of what the director was going for. I thought it was. I just remember it was the only scene in the whole movie that stayed with me afterwards. I was like, oh shit. Like,
Yeah, and it's Kurt Russell. You're like, what the fuck?
yeah. I was like, Santa Claus. Anyways, only got 10 people watching. Oh,
no.
brutal. 12. It's climbing a little bit. We got a couple more. Nobody on Twitch, though. If anybody's on Twitch, shout your name into the void. But okay, dire wolves. Let's just
Dire,
jump in.
not dire wolves.
Let's jump into this fake dire wolf bullshit. So this is hold on. I already started telling people about my. We're gonna talk about it in a bit here.
Yeah.
We gotta let them get a little into it, and then I'll find my time.
Everyone likes to talk about the climate crisis, but we are actually in a biodiversity crisis, and that's absolutely critical to our way of life. So if all of these species go extinct, then we'll have full ecosystem collapse.
Some scientists have estimated that by 2050, half of all species that are alive today will be extinct. The truth is that extinction happens. Extinctions have happened throughout evolutionary history. But right now, the rate of extinction is estimated to be 1,000 to 10,000 times faster than the base rate in the fossil record. And a lot of that is our fault. We need a solution.
Yes, so let's unextinct an animal that we had no part in getting rid of.
100%. Yeah, that's what I was going to say. We're going to, not the white rhino, one that we still have two female white rhinos left.
Oh yeah, the two female white rhinos. We couldn't make a male.
Right.
We had to.
We had to go
I
with
heard
a-
about that too. We lost the last male, and I was like, "Wow, there it goes."
Yeah. Well, that was a couple. It was a couple of years
bye.
ago, like 2019 or 2020, something shit like that. But yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, we are witnessing the extinction of the white rhino. But let's not bring those back. Let's not do what we can to facilitate the return, quote, of the white rhino. Let's go for the dire wolf, a species that, died off. How many years ago? Like 4? Fuck.
1,000?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, wasn't it like a while back? I don't know. If we might have had play in it. I guess.
I don't think
Like
a
we-
dire wolf.
Well, we were on the menu, I think, at one point. Were we not with them?
10,000 or 13,000 years ago. So like,
Yeah, so we
or
coexisted with
Neanderthal,
them.
maybe Neanderthal.
But that was more of a climate shift then, because
Yeah.
they weren't like. See, like they think that we did away with Neanderthal, not because like we directly warred with them, but because we like put enough pressure on them that they just
No, that wouldn't be
thriving.
Neanderthal. That would be modern. Well, let's see here.
Well, Neanderthal and modern human existed side by side for a while. Well, we were Homo erectus. We're Homo erectus erectus now.
Yeah.
Why they doubled it. Couldn't have come up with something fancier. Had to double
Let's
the word.
see here. I think it was Homo. Well, no, I don't know.
I'm only Homo erectus in the morning when I wake up.
Hmm.
Before I've had a coffee.
I don't know. The extinction of Homo erectus is estimated to have occurred between 117,000 and 108,000 years ago.
Well,
That's Homo
yeah, but
erectus.
but no,
Neanderthal-
Neanderthal and Homo erectus had a crossing timeline period. There was a period where we were running side by side.
40,000. No, according to this, 40,000 years
Well,
ago.
then what was before Homo
Maybe it
erectus?
was.
Then it was Homo. It was
No, you're right. You're right. Neanderthal and Homo erectus were there. No, I looked at the dates wrong. I don't have
yeah,
my
like
glasses
there
on, so I
because
can't
but there's
see.
one more before Homo erectus that was like almost like us, but I can't remember. It's like Homo something other, but yeah, they coexisted to a certain degree. They found like human arrowheads like embedded in Homo erect or in Neanderthal like bones and stuff
Yeah.
like that. Like, so they know that we did combat a bit and we kind of engaged. Hello, Zerzuzi. I
Yep.
can't do this again.
You did. You just did it.
I did, eh?
You got it.
Like the white rhino. Dire wolves are more interesting. Fuck the right rhino. The dire wolves are more interesting. In the future, we will bring back the rhino whenever we want. Listen. We're gonna bring back. I'm gonna tell you right now. That is a private company that has shareholders. Okay.
Yep.
They're making Jurassic Park. I'm just gonna
Oh, yeah.
put it. We're not gonna get into that yet. Soon. It's coming. But they're making a Jurassic Park. Okay.
100%.
Colossal is the world's first de-extinction company, and we combine de-extinction with species preservation, and our goal is to make extinction a thing of the past.
Colossal
Biosciences
develops cutting-edge technology to protect biodiversity and reverse cause extinction.
People think it's a scary word, de-extinction. They immediately put us with Jurassic Park, and it's not.
See?
We're trying to
Johnny,
develop-
listen. Johnny.
I know it. I'm telling you.
This beautiful young lady right here
Yep.
has said, where is the fucking window I want? This woman has said that it is not a Jurassic Park, okay, Johnny? So why are you concerned about Jurassic Park?
Right.
Okay?
Right.
You can't, this isn't an evil corporation with it's like, isn't that what, wait, Jurassic Park, well, not the first one, but isn't that what they evolved it into eventually? Is it
Oh,
was
yeah.
like
When
always
they-
a corporation that's trying to like find a way to make the most money possible?
Yeah, when Jurassic World pulled around, that's when it became the evil corporation. But before that, it was just, the whimsical, goodwill, good nature of this old man who wanted to see dinosaurs and have families play at his park and get eaten.
I mean, the one thing I will say, playing off what I Am Raven said here, they may be working on the white rhino in a different way. They have viable DNA for cloning. I assume that was an NA, DNA, or DBA. Maybe there's another acronym I'm unaware of. But yes, I think that's true. And part of what they were doing with the dire wolf is they were trying to, play God to a certain degree. I'm not a religious person, but you know the term.
Yeah.
They were trying to do that whole, like, because you saw a few years back that they made a duck with teeth, right?
I
Or, like,
saw
what was
that.
Was it a chicken with teeth? It was a chicken with teeth or something like that.
Something like that.
They went into the genome of the chicken, and they found, because they were learning what makes things happen. Sometimes it's just one gene.
By the
that's
way,
been
this
flipped.
is part of transgenic research.
Yeah. So sometimes it was like one gene that's been toggled off basically by a set of RNA instruction when you're being built essentially in the womb or the egg. And so all they did is they went in and they went click and they like toggled a gene on, and then the chickens came out with fangs, little tiny fangs inside their beaks. Tiny little teeth inside their beaks, and they were like, "Oh, okay, so that's the tooth gene. That's the gene that gets flicked off, so it becomes a chicken, not a saber-toothed chicken or whatever, right?" So,
Saber chicken.
listen, ChatGPT can make a saber-toothed chicken. Give it 5 minutes.
I bet it can.
But yeah, so this isn't like new, but I will say one thing: it's important science because learning. Like, these are the kinds of things that have allowed them to do gene therapy for, like, sickle cell anemia and stuff like that, where they're able to, like, go in and CRISPR, they're able to, like, feed your blood in a machine and pump it out the other side and be like, okay, here you go. You have cells that'll produce properly shaped blood cells now. Or
For certain. I mean,
think it's the
there's
red blood cells with sickle cell.
sickle cell. Yeah, there is a benevolent, practical application of what they're doing with this de-evolution shit, but we all know that because they're a corporation, they're in it for the money.
This
They're
company,
in it for the money, not the science. Who knows that line? Hang on a
so
second.
no,
you stop. Who knows that line?
He's
He's in it for the money, not the science. I want to see it. Show me in the side chat. Nobody knows that line.
I don't know that line. Which one is this?
I'm going to give the side chat a minute. Somebody's got to know it. Somebody has to know it.
So wait, they were talking about the woolly mouse. I'm pretty sure. No. Okay, yeah. So just so everybody here knows, if you're talking about the woolly mouse there, let me get in here. I got a lot of screens I gotta flip between. Maybe I could refine that bit.
Beginning before the dawn of man, there roamed the woolly mammoth. Hold it, that's not a mammoth, it's a woolly mouse.
So this is the same company that made the woolly mouse. It's Colossal Biosciences.
Yep.
Right on the screen there. So they literally are the ones who made the woolly mouse.
The hardest things is to figure out what changes you have to make in the elephant genome to make it more mammoth-like.
What do you mean?
Well, we can't really experiment on mammoths, but we can test our hypotheses.
So just so everybody knows, if you're going to talk about woolly mouse, these are the same people. So this is not new for them.
They've been fucking around with this shit for a while.
Yeah, they're not new to the show.
Develop these new techniques in order to save animals, in order to bring back animals that, in some cases, were our fault that we don't have them any longer. It wasn't a climate problem, it was a human problem.
I think we all share the deep concern about what's happening to biodiversity, what's happening to the planet, what's happening to people whose lives have been intertwined with wild nature since.
I mean, sure, but you started with the wrong animal.
Yeah, right.
Like,
You wanna-
although Hank Green talks about it in a minute here, he's got some good things to say. We're gonna get to him basically because this video is ultimately a lot shorter.
Before time began. And so coming together is so exciting because I think that's how we can really drive change.
We're finding solutions to restore a species back to the wild. The purpose of that is to serve an ecological function. As we lose species within an ecosystem, if you think of a Jenga puzzle, you're sort of pulling blocks out of there. Those blocks that are creating the instability in the ecosystem is literally the function that animal plays. If we can find ways to restore animals that provide that specific function, we can create more stability within an ecosystem.
Yeah, but don't you have to
What
fix
does it?
every...
Hang on a second. What is a dire wolf? What instability has a dire wolf extinction created?
Well, yeah, I mean, obviously, I think they're talking about other species beyond the dire wolf. But the only problem I have with it is how do you take an animal that's been extincted, whether it be by human pressure or environmental pressure?
Mm-hmm.
How do you make a new one by fitting the blocks together and making a dire wolf shaped or whatever, a pigeon shaped animal that does the same behaviors, and then release it into the wild? And then what, you keep feeding them? Because like if it died once,
Right.
isn't it going to die again? Because the animal that was shaped and behaved the way that one did that just died didn't survive. So like, are we then going to start screwing with like, oh, don't worry, these animals can reproduce on a concrete slab and they don't need a nest anymore? Like at what level do we start? Where we draw the line on this, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's kind of the main concern is at what point do we say, well, yes, the things that we did were stupid and bad, or they were an imbalance and bad, but we're talking about the dire wolves that went extinct a long time ago, relatively speaking, a long time as it is concerning us, right? We're talking about woolly mammoths that went extinct a while ago. At what point do we say, hey, hang on a second, are we going to create an additional problem on top of the problem that we already have? And maybe instead of saying, let's bring back something that's been extinct for quite some time, how about we use this technology to, like the white rhino, let's keep that, you know what I mean? Let's worry about, and then you still have the issue with like deforestation, right?
Well, they still have female white rhinos, so we could that's even easier because
That's what I mean.
You can take DNA code from one that already exists. You can dolly the sheep it and produce a male. Now, they're going to have some pretty jank genetics because if they only come from fucking 2 of them, by time, how many do we got to breed together before we get a viable enough population they can start spreading out a bit? You got to be fucking like droopy eyes, and some of them will come in and shaking their head a bunch. Like, gonna get some pretty derpy fucking rhinos here.
Right. Well, I mean, the bigger point is what are we doing to create a situation where the problem isn't the problem anymore? Like, why are these things?
Sorry, go ahead, please.
I was going to say, why are these things? Why are these species going extinct? You know what I mean? Well, deforestation.
What was the major pressure that caused this animal? It'd be one thing if it was like an island that like, I mean, and then the argument could be made, does an animal lived on an island really affect the world heavily? But I mean, but loss of biodiversity should always be frowned upon.
Something we should look at. Yeah.
Yeah, but you get what I'm saying. Like if it was a population on an island and it got wiped out by like some like singular event, then I see the argument to be made where it's like, well, they didn't like naturally. I mean, they did naturally die out because like a volcano's nature, but
Right.
it's like kind of like the getting pushed. It's like a hand of something being pushed on that a little bit and
Right.
making it happen. So I can see in a case like that, you could like you could what's the word I'm looking for? Rehabilitate the local ecosystem by like bringing back
Right.
some of these animals that maybe were pushed over the edge. But I don't know. I mean, then the question is like, is that not the purpose of? I mean, I don't know. I feel like loss of any biodiversity is always bad, and we should try to like help it stay up.
Well, okay, yeah, but I still think we're going about it the wrong way because let's say we bring back, the
Jurassic
dodo.
Park.
Yeah, right, Jurassic
Yeah.
Park. Let's say we bring back the dodo bird, right? Or not the dodo bird. Let's think of it. We bring back the white rhino, right? Why is a white rhino extinct or going extinct? Well, because we did something. What did we do to cause it? Are we going to stop that? Because if we're not stopping that, I don't give a fuck how many species you de-extinct. They're just going to fucking get wiped out again.
Well, we start by cutting the testicles off of poachers. Like
That's-
straight
that's-
up,
yeah,
like
no,
right
that's a
on
good
scene.
start.
Just
Yeah.
it's like a fucking episode of Dexter.
Yeah.
Guy just falls asleep, wakes up plastic all around. Just the last shot of
Yeah.
you dropping them in the garbage.
Yeah.
Like,
Bloop. Yeah.
Bloop.
By the
There
way,
you go.
that was a quote from Twister.
oh, Twister.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Nobody got it. I didn't think they would because
Well, it wasn't the new Twister though, was it? I haven't seen that.
no, that was Twister.
Good.
I was almost
We
on
got
that. too.
cows. I gotta go. We got
We got
cows.
cows. Yeah.
That woman is worth billions, eh?
Judy
married-
Judy Gertz. Yeah.
I mean, unless something's changed, but she married a billionaire, like straight up billionaire with a B.
Yeah.
So that's why if you don't see her around too much, like she okay.
She's not. She's not. Yeah.
She's doing
was-
okay. She doesn't.
She was
doesn't
acting.
care.
She was acting because she wanted to. Jamie Gertz, not Judy Gertz. Jamie Gertz. Yeah.
Yeah. So we got cows. And she's like, and I got
Yeah.
diamonds.
The last
Holy
thing.
shit.
Not to say that she didn't make her own money, but I think the last thing that she did was that that sitcom with. I can't even remember his name. Not How I Met Your Mother, but one of those late '90s, early 2000s.
Greed will charge more to hunt. See, this is what I was gonna say. Russia's got a real chance here. I think Russia should bring back the woolly mammoth in Siberia. We should get some fucking dire wolves in there. Turn that shit into No, trust me. Pay-per-view. Okay. Drone cameras. We got cameras on poles. Make it like a Truman Show kind of thing, like a
Yeah.
huge area. And then you let other rich people just like go out and like it'd be like a game reserve. You know where like you go like pay to hunt the hogs and stuff like
Oh
that.
yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah. It'd be like to be prices for like woolly mammoth afterwards, like the whole thing where you like they harvest the animal and cut it all up and everything.
Right.
And you got to pay for like the butchering fees and stuff. I think there's a real market here. Like, and then you watch too. There's two things that are gonna come from this. Okay, not that I want to make Russia great again, but like fiscal responsibility, okay? And at the same time, there will be billionaires that don't make it. Like, they're going to bring 50 cows and have a little militia with them, and they're not going to exit the other side. And
Right.
so we will be thinning that herd at the same time. I think that there's a real strategy here.
But here's the thing, though. I've always said that people.
That's awful, says Lisa.
No, it's
Lisa,
perfect.
these are billionaires. They're not humans, okay? They don't have normal. They're not normal people. I'm joking.
Well, no, they're not.
I'm
They're not normal.
not
people.
put a Luigi Mangione support hat on or something. Jesus.
No,
I
I've always,
agree with you, Beaver. There you go. See?
I'm
Go ahead.
gonna break this stupid arm. No, I've always said that if we want to do that, let's do it, but make it like, because we don't. Here's the thing: hunting is kind of it's low key bullshit, right? It's low key.
I mean, I was. Hold on. Watch your
No,
tongue,
no.
sir. I was a
No,
hunter.
I don't
but I
care.
hunted for the meat, not for the trophy.
Yeah, right. No, I don't give a shit. You no, it's not even hunting. It's like target. I'm target shooting. Because think about it this way, right? You go out and you go like try and hunt down a deer. You don't
I'm
go.
concerned about the animals, not the billionaires. Sorry, keep going.
you go out there and you got this fucking high-powered rifle that you sit up in a goddamn, tree stand. And you put some corn out to lure
Yeah,
the
that's
fucking
fair.
deer in. That ain't.
Well, you're
fucking
not allowed
hunting.
to lure them during hunting
Hang
season.
on a second.
What you do is build behavior before hunting
Hang on a
season.
second. Fucking hell. What I'm saying is, instead, no guns. You get a knife. It could be any knife that you want, right? But it has to be under. We'll say it has to be under 12 inches. So it's an actual knife, not a fucking mini sword. Okay. You get any knife that you want, but that's all you get. And you got to hunt. You got to go get a bear.
I mean, just like you're the Revenant, fuck.
That's hunting. Okay.
For the record, I'm not gonna do that kind of hunting. I'd rather throw some Skittles in a hole and like wait for Winnie to fucking pop by, you know?
Yeah, right. No, see, that's what I'm saying, man. That's target shooting. You want to hunt? There you go.
That's not enough. This is enough.
This is a knife, yeah,
That's
there you
just so you know, Judy. I thought of the same thing.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll go a little further, and then I have to. I mean, I'm dying to present my presentation, everybody.
All right,
I mean,
let's do it.
We gotta get a Jurassic Park presentation on. I'm gonna sell you guys on the idea.
We've announced 3 species, the woolly mammoth, the thylacine, and the dodo. But one of the things that's absolutely
See, there it
critical to
is, dodo.
ecosystems is predators, as we've seen with what's happened in Yellowstone with the reintroduction of wolves back into the park. They've shown that they've even reshaped the river systems. They brought back beavers, they brought back songbirds. And so we felt that it was very important for us to bring back the dire wolf.
Dire wolf.
The dire wolf is the first species that we're bringing back at Colossal.
Okay, one point of contention. I hate when people say, I hate when people say dire wolf when they say woof.
I heard that too. Woof. Dire wolf.
It's a woof. No, it's a wolf. There's an L there, fucker. Fucking hell.
Yeah, but Americans say words like rough and stuff like that when they're talking about roofs. So I mean, it's not like uncommon.
Yeah, I'd bust their balls too.
It's funny.
Another one, warsh. Oh, I fucking hate that. Like,
What's funny is you're in Texas and you just don't. To me, as like I expected you to be like Yosemite Sam or something like that. Like fucking gotten down and cotton picking.
Yeah. Oh, be careful. Can't say cotton picking.
Oh, you can't? Oh, I guess that is. I never thought about that. It's funny.
Yeah.
So wait, like I love old cartoons, eh? Because I was watching one the other day, and it was like, what's her name? The girl that was like, oh, they made a movie recently with her.
Betty Boop?
Part of like, what? No, the girl that's like the. They made a whole movie recently. It's like the action hero ones. It was
Captain Marvel?
She's got different colors on her face and wears fucking pigtails and shit.
Oh, that fucking piece of shit. Yeah. I know
Well, yeah, but it's an old cartoon, and she like had like Robin tied up in bed, and she like is changing, and her like they drew her ass like with where you make it the bubble, and like they're overlapping each other, and then like he very
you talking about
obviously
Teen
gets,
Titan Go?
I don't know, but he clearly got an erection. They don't show it, but you can tell. She turns around and he's like, "Don't go getting any ideas," and she goes, "Too late." She clicks off the lights. And it's like, holy shit. Like, yeah. I was like, as a kid, I don't think I caught that. Like, as an adult, I'm like, holy God.
Oh, yeah.
It was funny. My mom bought me a Spawn comic book because she just like would go to the comic book store and was like,
yeah.
boop, 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 boop.
Right.
She bought me you probably already know where this is going. Did you ever open a Spawn comic book?
I have. I used to have the original first print run of the first 8.
Those chicks took their tops off and wrestled in mud, tits out. Yep. And like, I don't know how old I was, like 11, 12. I was like, this is amazing. It was like, because to her, it was just a comic book. But it's like, some of those comic books aren't for kids. Like,
it was always Image. Image was never for kids.
Oh my God, it's funny. I just remember it. I only told her in the last few years, actually. It was like, hey, you remember when you used to buy me comic books, Mom?
You used to buy me porno. I'm just kidding.
Well, it was the creepiest scene. There's a bunch of dudes watching through like holes in the wall while these girls fought in this like pit full of mud. I don't understand it all, but I know that I was there to flip the pages, okay? Oh man, that's funny.
The dire wolf, which most people think is just a mythical creature, was actually a keystone species that was not only endemic to the United States and mostly Americas, but it was actually culturally important to some of the biggest indigenous early tribes in America. So we thought if we could use it as an opportunity where we can also develop technologies that...
How many years ago did this bitch die out?
That's a good one.
Because, like, was it actually, like, in North, like, so
10 to 13,000 years ago.
We're natives? I mean, I guess Native Americans have been here for a while.
Yeah.
that can help wolves. We thought it was the right first project, given how important wolves are to ecosystems.
Native Americans were here for that long? Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy.
One of the challenges when we started working on the direwolf was that we knew of only 2 direwolf specimens in the world that contained some usable DNA. One of our direwolf samples was a single tooth, and then another was a 72,000-year-old skull. So we were able to use these specimens and isolate this ancient DNA out of them.
For the
Jurassic
direwolf,
Park,
there was
see?
a massive study that did many samples across multiple institutions. And Colossal took 2 of those samples and was able to generate whole genome sequences from each. And so this is incredible for any species, let alone species that have been extinct. So,
like, I love footage that's always, like, collected. Like, they're like, smile while you watch this thing go 3 inches. Like, the guy looking at the things that are...
Yeah.
I'm trying to, like, pause a little bit. I don't want to get tagged too hard here. Hey, Colossal, we're actually talking about your stuff, please.
When we edit different lines of genetically diverse gray wolves, we'll create a set of genetically diverse dire wolves with similar edits, but the basis of their diversity already existed within the gray wolf.
Gray wolves are on the endangered
But I don't understand that, though, because, like, of course the diversity exists in the gray wolf. Like,
Right.
everything has diversity in genetic code, right?
I mean, as far as I understand it, yeah.
Hank talks about it better in a minute. We'll get to Hank.
species list, and that means you can just go in and collect the samples that we want.
Typically, people have to take a ear punch or a skin biopsy, and sometimes it's a very invasive process for the animal. We've developed a technology where you can take a simple blood draw, isolate these specific cells in the blood, and then clone from it.
Gray wolves are endangered? Like, is that just in a specific area or globally?
I think that's a good question.
Endangered. I'm looking this up too. Threatened by conflict with humans and intolerance, the loss of both. But is it?
Oh, they're endangered as of February
More than-
2022.
Oh, well, that's kind of crazy. Because I mean, we got wolves where I mean, like it's people used to just shoot them as like pests. I mean, I guess that's
Yeah.
part of the problem.
Yeah. That's kind of the
And here
problem.
we are.
And here we are creating a dire wolf.
I've met people that are like, humans are the apex predators and we control the balance of the animals, and like we don't need gray wolves anymore. I'm like, okay.
I'll tell you what, why don't you go find yourself a fucking polar bear? Find out. Let's test this theory.
Well, no, I don't think he was saying that. Like, I think he was just saying, well, we also don't typically live where polar bears live, right? So of course that's
No,
I mean, but
for good
I'm not
fucking
saying he was
reason.
right.
You know why? Because polar bears will eat your ass.
Yeah, polar bears are actually really terrifying. So one of the things I've been to the Arctic, but my my aunt has also been to the Arctic, and she remembers when she got off the cat. I don't know. They got those things with the big ass tires on them and stuff, so they don't sink and everything.
Yeah.
And, like, I think were they there? I don't know if she was there on a ship. I can't remember, but she was there, and they were walking out there, and at some point they were finally like, "Hey, everybody!" They're like, "You have to get off the snow or whatever. Like, get back up here." And they're like, there was like, why? And it was like, well, there was a bear spotted recently, like just around here, and they were having to explain to everybody. They're like, you won't see them coming, because they bury their nose, because their
Yeah.
nose is the only black part on them, and they'll stick their nose in the snow, and they push themselves along with their nose buried in the snow. And if there's enough like wind, it just becomes like a
You won't.
white.
Yeah, you won't see shit.
So you just don't see shit until they fucking just like
Bite
come
your
out
head
of
off.
the fucking darkness or out of the whiteness and grab you. When they do in Churchill, I've been to Churchill on the Hudson Bay. In Churchill, they have rules in Halloween. They have rules, and you're not allowed to be anything white. So no ghosts, no dressing up as no KKK. But I think that one was established before this was an issue. But like you're not allowed to dress in certain outfits, and the reason is that they're afraid that the kids might get mistaken for a bear because there's so many kids walking around doing Halloween. Everybody in the entire community is out with their rifles on their backs, walking around and keeping an eye out for polar bears because a polar bear will walk into town, and of course there's tiny little bits of prey all over the place, and so they have the same kind of thing as like Iceland or Greenland kind of thing where I think it's Greenland, where like doors are just unlocked, I guess is the idea in a lot of cases. Because like if you see a polar bear, you just like go to the nearest door and like fucking step inside. Like, okay, well,
And hope
there's a
to
bear out there.
fucking whatever deity you believe in that the polar bear didn't see you go into that door.
I mean, they'll get fucking told because almost every building has a gun. I mean, that's one of the mistakes that Americans make about Canada. They don't think we have guns. There's a lot.
Even still, I mean, think about it this way: you walk
you're
into
allowed to shoot it though if it's doing that, right? So.
Well, sure, but what I mean to say is, you walk into a building that you don't know, right? You walk into this house you don't know. Do you know where the gun is?
Oh no, you're not gonna find the gun, but there's enough people around. My understanding is they don't, because it's a small enough community that like somebody's gonna hear that bear ripping at the door.
Yeah, for sure.
And so it's gonna get. And then what they'll do though is if they have a bear that's repeatedly been a nuisance, they have actually what's called bear jail.
Yeah.
It's just an area that's it's like a chain link fenced area, but it's quite a big area, but it's just an area with a chain link fence. And in the summer there'll be the odd bear in there. When I was there, it was like spring, and I'm like, what do you do with them? They're like, they just put them in there, and then they stay there till winter, and they don't even feed them. Now, before anybody gets upset about this, that's normal for them in the summer. Apparently, they don't have, because that's why they're waiting for the ice to come in, because they eat the seals and stuff, and they're kind of slow, and they're not great at catching land animals. So they tend to starve all summer. So when a bear gets to become enough of a nuisance, and they manage to like trank it and catch it, they throw it inside this bear jail, and they just leave it in there to roam around with the daisies and stuff for the next X many months until winter comes. And then once the ice comes in, they open the gates on and let all the bears spill back out into the wild because they all just move out onto the ice and away from town, right? We relocate bears a long ways away from here. Well, that's fair. Oh, shit. Host screen. Boom.
The genome of this living animal partially into the genome of the extinct animal for those genes that matter, for the traits and characteristics that we want to see in that animal.
Discovering which parts of the genome make an animal look and act like that animal is one of the hardest problems in biology. It is unsolved and something that we have to solve if we want to know which parts of the genome we want to edit to make a gray wolf more like a dire wolf.
To analyze our genomes, to compare dire wolves with gray wolf genomes, we use our tools on a platform built by FormBio. It's a bioinformatics company that spun out of Colossal. They built this whole suite of analysis tools and algorithms.
So in other words, it's getting easier and easier to manipulate genetics. Like, it's crazy.
That's not a thing I want to hear.
They literally have like a piece of software. They're like, oh, we'll flick this gene on next. Like, that's crazy. They gave us a little glimpse of it right there. Well, let's take a look at that again. What does that say on there? Let's see. We got.
Oh, I can't see shit.
It's got like variability, chromosome positive, reference alt, gene symbol, variant impact moderate. Jesus. Deleterious shift prediction or SIFT prediction. Yeah, skeleton phenotype, growth size body region phenotype, skeleton phenotype. Jesus. So like that's, look at tolerated down at the bottom of the list. They got deleterious and then tolerated. So like they've literally classified the genes on what they do, and That's crazy.
Company that spun out of Colossal. They built this whole suite of analysis tools and algorithms that allow us to find the differences between the direwolf genome and the gray wolf genome and filter out these differences that we actually want to edit.
Oh,
and so we
Aniceto,
aligned our
don't
direwolf
worry.
reads
We're
to
going to
the
talk about
gray
this in a
wolf
minute.
genome. That allowed us to know exactly where the gray wolf differed from the direwolf. One of the most exciting differences that we found.
I mean, they've definitely got the right, like, I love the video because it's like, here, just show a random fucking gene on the screen. They don't know what it looks like anyways.
Right.
Like,
differed from
ooh, look how fancy that is.
Yeah.
the direwolf.
And like, I love the like, you know, like they always gotta have this catchy like, fucking, you know.
El
Oh, yeah,
Coral
it's this
is a
comparison,
key
yeah.
regulator.
Oh man, I do love it though. It's all advertising, right? Like,
Oh, fuck
of
yeah.
animal size.
sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you're good.
Next, we have to use gene editing technologies. We have cells growing in a dish in a lab that belong to a gray wolf. And so these have gray wolf genomes. Now we've decided which part of that genome we want to change. So one at a time, we take our gene editing tools and we go into that cell and we cut out the bit of DNA that looks like a gray wolf and paste in its place the DNA that looks like a dire wolf.
Each time you edit a gene in a cell, you put a lot of stress on that cell because you have to get your gene editing tools in these cells and then these changes are made. So what we do instead is we try to make dozens or hundreds of changes at once. It's called multiplex gene editing.
So now we have cells.
No, in other words, we're not testing one thing at a time. We're testing 100
All of them, yeah.
all at fucking once.
It's just...
That's how you get alien. That's how you
Yeah.
get like a fucking xenomorph, isn't it?
That's what I'm saying. This is just getting worse by the second.
Oh man, Aniceto, don't worry. I've got a presentation here in a second. Okay, we're almost there. Here.
There's a process called cloning, or somatic cell nuclear transfer. This is the same process that most famously brought us Dolly the sheep.
So you take an egg, an oocyte, from a wolf or a dog, you take out its own DNA and you stick that direwolf cell in it.
That cell becomes an embryo that's a dire wolf. It's no longer a domestic dog, which sounds totally science fiction. And with the help of a vet team, we then are able to surgically put this embryo.
This part we already know about. This, like he
Right.
said, this is Dolly the sheep. Oh my god, NANA. 10 memberships. Now I'm gonna listen to a beaver scream for like 5 fucking minutes. Because I could not figure out for the life of me what is causing that. So for now, I think I'm just gonna live with it is what's gonna happen here. We'll find out in a second. I actually also put... Oh, I see. Yeah, well, the overlay is not going to play unless I'm on the screen. But anyways, we'll figure it all out. Yeah, thank you very much. Here, in a second, I'll have a beam boozled in your honor.
Back inside to the surrogate dog.
Yeah, I know.
We have to find an appropriate dog that can carry our direwolf.
I should sue them for mental anguish after I get through this fucking thing.
Thinking very critically about each step so that when that pup is finally born, we know there aren't any issues.
The safety of all of our surrogates for any of our species is the highest priority. We have an overemphasis on our animal husbandry team to secure their safety, as well as are pursuing on the science side our own exogenous development team so that one day we won't have to use surrogates.
So they're talking about growing them in like a placenta or something like that where they don't even need, which I don't know how the fuck you get. That's pretty science fiction.
Well, maybe. Or they're talking about reintroducing enough population that they can just kind of do their own thing and, you know.
Oh, I see.
Breeding in the
they
wild.
They can grab them from the park.
Yeah.
And like they can. Oh, look at that! Hey, look at there you go. Dr. Dimrod became a member. There you go. You guys got a beaver eating. Num 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 num. So who all got members there? We got Jason Hyatt, Prosecco Rose. I'm bad with names. Simon Ross.
You did good. Prosecco.
Dr. Nimrod. I know. I'm learning. I'm getting better. Paul Ball Earther. Oh, all the way from the flat Earth days. I appreciate you being around. Let's see. Kelly Fitzpatrick. Maybe you were already a member. Somebody. Let me see which ones it is. No, you got a member. Yeah, look at you. NANA dropping the 10 memberships. Jeez, NANA, you're too good to me. I do need to have a Bean Boozled, okay? Except there's like this beaver in my way.
Yeah.
Hold on.
That's never been a problem where I came from. That was never.
That's
a problem.
actually a good point you make. I've never went. Damn, too much beaver.
Too much beaver.
So, if anybody doesn't know what the Bean Boozled is, I'll just give you a 10-second refresher again. This is full of both the matching colors, and there's no way to tell by looking at it whether it's the one that tastes like absolute terror, depending on which one it is. Some of them are not bad. Toothpaste. Some people might like that. Or if it's the one that tastes delicious. Now, experience, and Johnny knows this, would tell you that it's more likely going to be a shitty tasting one. Because I feel like these are they're factory mistakes that they fucking, we'll turn it into a game.
Yeah.
So, for instance, I've just brought up 2 of these. Now, there is an equally high chance that it's either, one of them is either buttered popcorn or rotten egg. That'll be fun. And the other one is, I don't know if that's like juicy pear. That might, or if that one's going to be lime or lawn clippings and booger. So I'm going to,
either way, this sounds disgusting.
yeah, I'm going to risk the biscuit. Do I have any more? Oh no, I'm out of drink. That's going to be terrible. I'm going to do the possible buttered popcorn because if it is, it's delicious. And if it isn't, it's going to be rotten egg.
Yeah. Oh, it's rotten egg.
No guarantee yet. Buttered popcorn!
Wow, you actually got one that wasn't.
That's like my favorite flavor, actually, in the Jelly Bellies. Oh my goodness. Oh, it's so good. I'm so happy.
I learned this today that there's an animal that smells like buttered popcorn. Like their shit and their farts and whatnot. They're just natural odor smells like buttered popcorn. So people like to have them and to hug on them to smell them.
Here at the Johnny and Beaver Hour.
I know that sounds like a bullshit story, but
we like to look these things up when we talk about them.
I know.
Animal that smells like buttered popcorn. Oh yeah. The binturong or bearcat.
Bearcat, yeah. Binturong is unfucking.
Oh yeah. Believable. Oh yeah, I've seen this on a short on YouTube. It defecates on animals it feels threatened by.
Yep.
So it like shits on them, like, which is fucking ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like what? Like we've all heard of crap in our pants, like getting scared.
Yeah.
Like how do you manage that? You turn around, and you like propel it at them.
Well, it's like a snake, I guess. They just got it at the ready. And apparently, this bintong like auto shits. They eat and then immediately shit.
That's kind of crazy. And you heard it here, folks.
Yep.
Okay, because he gave 10 memberships, it's kind of crazy. I'm going to do one more. So this other one that came up, like I said, I can't tell if that's supposed to be juicy pear or lime, but the other 2 options are booger and lawn clippings. So I'll know more when I find out what its adjacent flavor is.
Booger or lawn clippings.
The booger one's actually salty. That's the part that got me the first time I had it.
Yeah, definitely one of the not good ones.
I mean, it's been a while since I've eaten a booger. So, like, truthfully, I'm having a hard time, but I think that's lawn clippings.
Yeah.
My memory of booger taste is not fresh, so.
Yeah, well.
Okay, so
See,
Sam, we've been messed around with animal traits for too long.
Oh, we have,
Sorry.
but it's been like through selective breeding. But that's kind of what I want to know at the Jelly Belly factory. Do they have people there that like, hey, I need you to eat your booger and create this taste, this flavor?
Well,
that sounds.
What was interesting to me the one time was how they did such a good job of matching the flavor, though.
Yeah.
Because some of them are really like canned dog food was canned dog food. Like I've never eaten canned dog food. It tasted like canned dog food smells. Like it was arguably pretty good, and in that sense. And the one I had, I think the one time I got rotten egg, and it was absolutely diabolical.
Yeah.
It was terrible.
But I can understand like accidentally eating a rotten egg, or I don't know.
Well, it's
maybe
like when you drink milk. Who hasn't done the glug? Like
Yeah.
You've already got a whole glug down, and before you finally realize, and then you just spit the fucking milk everywhere.
But you know what I mean? I can understand that, right? But then it's like booger, like that's not something you accidentally fucking. Yeah, there you go.
It's been a while since I've eaten a booger. Beaver 416.
Yep.
Oh, here, how far in? Actually, that's a good one for a clip. 56 minutes. I'm gonna write that down, everybody. It's good to have clip points here. 56 circled. Okay. All right. So we're gonna talk about Jurassic Park in just a moment. In a hot fucking second, we're gonna talk about it, and I think I'm gonna convince y'all it's worth it.
This exciting part is when the vet
pay the water bill.
All right. We'll watch 10 seconds of this. You come back.
team comes in, they do their ultrasound, and they say, yeah, congrats, you're gonna be a puppy mom, or you're gonna have a cub on the ground in a couple weeks. After the pups are delivered, there's a care team in place. They're there to make sure that our direwolf pups are happy and healthy, and that mom has gone through delivery without any problems. And then we have another team that will ensure that our pups have the right dynamics, they have the right social structures.
We're working actively right now with partners today to make sure that there are solutions and places for these animals to go in the future. And it's really important to say that all of this is done in this massive network.
It's critical to work with private landowners, local governments, indigenous people groups, and the public at large to do that in a way that's safe and publicly accepted, but also it's good for the ecosystem and the animals themselves.
What we're doing is having all of this collaboration in place well before we have these animals, and this is absolutely critical to making this work successful.
We're a part of the evolutionary stream of the planet. We're kin.
Yeah, but we didn't, learning to do it's one thing, but we didn't have anything to do with their evolutionary problems. All right, we're going to jump ahead because I got to get to my presentation. Plus
Amazing in a lot of
Hank
ways.
Green's going to talk a bit.
I'm really excited to see the birth of this direwolf pup and all the hard work that all of the teams have contributed to. There's so many people that have had their hand in this that it's just fulfilling for us to see, okay, we did it. We produce something that is magnificent and science fiction at its finest.
Perfect place to jump in to my presentation as soon as Johnny is back. I think that was the perfect place. Now, in the meanwhile, we have a super chat donation from one of our great super chatters and donors to the channel, NANA. NANA, love you, buddy. I have right here, in tradition for what you're saying, for instance, I have vanilla Crown Royal, okay? Crown Royal, a Canadian jewel of alcohol, covered in dust. But we are going to cheers with a vanilla Crown Royal shot, okay? There we go, everybody. Nice big hefty shot here. All right. Cheers, NANA. Thank you very much for the 666. Oh my God, hail Satan, 666. Oh, look at the bot's back. Woo! We got our bot. There you are. Best viewers on Streamboo. Everybody, you can download your free fake fucking interactions from Streamboo. It is science fiction. I'll give them that, says Judy. Judy is 100% right. Ooh, love whiskey. Is this whiskey? I think this is rum, isn't it? Or is it whiskey? Oh, you're right. Look at me. I don't know shit.
Look at you, not knowing shit.
Well, I was having a shot of vanilla Crown Royal to rep NANA's 666. Well, yeah, I just happen to have this. It's not like a statement of any sort. NANA, I don't believe it's been very common for a while, but I do think. Wait, I guess that's a good question. Do they still use vanilla from beaver ass? That's how I'm asking it. Still, rest assured that castoreum's use in artificial flavoring is extremely rare and mostly myth. It's mostly myth nowadays. There was a time. Trying to throw shade at my whole.
I like that. Mostly myth. That's not how myth works. It either is or it isn't.
Well, okay, so it's myth nowadays because, of course, they have better ways of doing vanilla extract. But back during the prime days of the fur trade, that was 100% one of the products that came back was castoreum.
Right, but that doesn't make it a myth. A myth means it never.
No,
really
no, I know.
happened.
I think what they're trying to do is they're trying
questioning
to
the wording of the fucking answer.
Yeah. I think they're trying to like just make people feel confident that they're not eating beaver ass on a normal occasion. You know? Although that statement is pretty loaded. So depending on how you like to party, that may or may not be true. Okay.
Right.
What you all do with your weekends, it's none of my business. Okay. I just had a shot of Irish whiskey. Ooh,
I remember the
fancy.
days when I would drink like a good Napo Castle. I miss that shit. You know, that's the thing. I haven't had a drink since like 2018, I think, and I miss sitting down.
Like period?
Yeah.
I forgot you don't drink.
Yeah.
I guess it was a problem that you've moved away from.
100%. Yeah. It was a fact.
Whenever
that,
somebody says like they just don't drink, it's usually because they.
Right. Yeah.
It's like a fat guy that can't go near a pizza. I get it.
Yeah.
Like. That's how I lost weight. I'm not at that point right this moment. That's how I lost weight at one point when I was doing pretty good. Is like people would order a pizza and I'd be like, I have to leave.
I have to go now.
I
I
have to
all
leave.
of that. Yeah.
Have a good night, everybody, because I don't want to have 5 slices of pizza and I'm gonna have a hell of a time. People are like, just use willpower. That's the willpower I'm using. I'm fucking leaving. That was the willpower. Right. I'm gonna escape and I'm gonna go where there isn't a pizza.
Yeah,
that was it. Like,
I don't think people understand the value of I'm not gonna be where it's at. I just don't think.
It's like I'm just not gonna be. It's like, you know, if you have any addiction or like, because food's the same thing. It's like if you have any addiction, and so it's like having a. You know, you've got a terrible cocaine habit. Somebody's like, I got 18 lines coming. You want one? Yeah. No, I don't. I'm going. Like, I'm gonna leave before it gets here. Before I Al Pacino myself.
Right. Say hello to my little friend. Yeah. No.
All right.
But that's what I meant. I miss sitting down at the end of the day and having a nice Scotch or a nice Irish whiskey.
I'm an alcoholic, but I managed to stay sober 50 hours a week while I work.
There you go.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Okay, so listen. Okay, we need to talk before we get into listen to Hank Green, and talking more. We got to talk about Jurassic Park. Okay,
right.
So Johnny,
now,
I want you to express
that
some negatives first before I present this.
All I'm saying is I've been told that you have a very detailed presentation about how Jurassic Park is a good thing.
I have
we've already established that the people whom there was a Colossal, is that what they're called?
Colossal Bioscience.
These aren't good people. We can tell. They're way too happy about this shit. They're just way too fucking overselling.
Well, and they have public investors. So I mean,
I was getting there.
They are. Okay, go ahead, please. All right.
You let me do the negative. So number one, they're way too happy about this whole thing, and number two, like you said, they have public investors, so they're not there for altruistic reasons. Like this bullshit about, oh, well, we're here to help, you know, whatever, reintroduce species to bring back biodiversity. Bullshit. You're there to make fucking money. Okay.
Well, they've got spin-off companies, like.
Sure, right. I mean, at the end of the day, they're still there to make money. Number three, when we're talking about having the liquidatable capital or the ability to get liquidatable capital in order to build a park, because you don't want that shit in fucking. I don't want a Jurassic Park in the United States, like continental.
Oh no, come on. Wait till keep going, but wait till I'm done my presentation, Johnny.
Hang on a second. I know, I'm prefacing this, right? So we don't want this on a continental portion of the world. We want it on an island. So you have to have somebody who has enough capital to be able to lease an island, an entire fucking island, have enough capital to be able to build the infrastructure for said island, to be able to run said park, and then the infrastructure, then build the actual park itself. So we're talking about very few people in the entire world who can legitimately do this as a business. One of them is effectively helping tank the United States economy right now, whilst the other ones are just complicitly waiting.
And no. We don't want Elon Musk running this, though. Let's just... I'm pro Jurassic Park. Not with that asshat running the show. He will leave 18-year-old interns in front, and their passwords will be leaked to Russia within 15 minutes of them making them. Okay.
So let's legitimately think about who this could be. Elon Musk, we don't want that. Jeff Bezos, do you really want that fucking guy? Because he'll lose a quarter of it in a fucking divorce somewhere, and then she'll end up giving all of it away to the people, and then now everybody's got their own little fucking velociraptor.
I'll take the Zuck. I'll go with the Zuck myself.
Well, the problem with Zuckerberg is that he's proven time and time again that he's only interested in doing what's best for Zuckerberg.
Yeah, but what's best for Zuckerberg is best for us getting a T-Rex, okay?
We don't need a T-Rex, okay? That's kind of the point that I'm making.
No. We need T-Rexes. Okay?
No T-Rex.
Okay. So right. I understand. I think you've got some good points, but I want to break this down for everybody, and I want to present here. Okay, everybody, is everybody ready? Is everybody, Johnny? Are you ready?
Let's do it.
Okay. Here we go. Okay. So first things first, we have promotional imagery. Okay. I want everybody just to take a look at this. Okay. So here's the start of my presentation. Okay. First of all, we have the technology. Okay. We do have the technology, and here we go. Here we go, everybody. Okay, so listen. Why Jurassic Park is totally safe and a great idea. Our technology is amazing. DNA, nailed it. Cloning prehistoric apex predators, light work. Our fences are definitely taller than a T-Rex's jump height, probably. We've watched all the movies, and we still think it's a great idea. If I worked in a lab simulation for 4.2 seconds, it'll work in real life. If it worked in a lab simulation, okay? Number 2, okay? Right here, number 2. Our scientists, we reverse engineered nature. Take that, God. Our scientists are from top universities, and none, quote unquote, were fired for ethics violations. Every dinosaur has a Bluetooth tracker. What could go wrong? Also, every dinosaur is 13% frog. That definitely won't backfire, and it didn't in the movie either, okay? Malcolm was not correct. Fun fact, our raptors now open doors. Isn't that amazing? Number 3, okay? Number 3. All vehicles come with dino-proof glass, except the sunroof, but you'll be okay. 24/7 security once we hire them. Our raptors are only moderately curious about human flesh. In case of emergency, we're running a zigzag pattern and pray. We've upgraded our fencing software to Windows 11 Pro. We consider this to be the bulletproof option. Okay. Number 4, nothing could possibly go wrong. Okay. Our track record of 0 disasters so far speaks for itself. We've installed 1 big red emergency button. Okay, that should be enough. Chaos theory, that's just math mumbo jumbo. Okay. Even our interns feel safe, mostly. Look, if something were to go wrong, we'd totally notice before it got, really bad. Probably. And then we have some quarter 3 profit projections, okay? So listen, revenue stream. We got VIP Dino Tours. We're projecting quarter 3, $12.5 million of profit, okay? We've got emergency evacuation packages. Those will be sold separately, $4.2 million per projection, okay? Raptor selfie stations, $2.8 million. We've got lawsuit settlements, okay? This is a paid out estimate of $8.7 million. Dino poop themed souvenirs. Yeah, see, we're getting into recycling, okay? 1.3 million projection. DNA patents and merch, 9 million. That's going to be a big one for us. Indominus will be extra. That's going to be a different conversation. We've got oops insurance upgrades. So, if you're taking your family here, it's kind of like buying the express pass when you go to any of the theme parks these days. You really need that express pass. This is the same kind of thing. It's like the express pass to it'll cover funerals and, search and rescue parties. We have a goat sponsorship, Feeding Time Live. So there you go. So that's where we tie the goat to a chain and we watch it. We watch the T-Rex feed. And anyway, so this comes out to a net quarter 3 projection of $7.5 million profit. So there you go. And then, of course, investor talking points. 84% of tourists say they'd probably return once they recover. The new slogan, The new slogan's testing well. Jurassic Park, danger you can afford.
Fuck.
Lawsuit ratio down 12% compared to quarter 2, and new safety mascot Timmy the Tranquilizer launching next quarter. Okay, I think that we've got a good strategy here for success, everybody, and I don't think that there's any reason why we shouldn't pursue a real Jurassic Park.
I've given you the best reasons. Number 1, number 2, and number 3. It's just a bad idea. You know, we're being very tongue in cheek about this, but at the end of the day, this is like a legitimate concern, even though it's probably, hopefully, a decade or 2 away from reality. But I mean,
It doesn't Bluetooth. That doesn't have the range.
that's true. Yeah.
You know, they're coming out with new Bluetooths all the time. We'll get them on like a Wi-Fi mesh system or something, maybe.
Perfect.
That's right. We'll set up like a big mesh system out there. They'll be okay. We're not gonna lose any of them, okay, guys? Come on.
Nope. It's just, I don't think this is a good idea. And we're only talking millions of dollars. We're not talking billions of dollars. And that's the thing, right? So your investment strategy isn't bringing in enough money to attract those people who could afford to do this. Because Zuckerberg doesn't want to make millions of dollars. He wants to make billions of dollars. Same thing with, Musk and Bezos.
Have you seen what a Disney movie makes, Johnny? The franchising alone for our Jurassic Park will pay for everything, okay? We're talking like GTA 5 levels of income, okay?
Yeah, no, I get it, but man,
I don't know. I feel like we're surrounded by a bunch of pussies.
Whoa.
No offense, ladies. Oh, come on. Listen, YouTube doesn't care about the P word. They care about the S word, the slewer side.
The S word?
The sluicide, the sewer slide word.
That
word will get you. The other word will get you just like, YouTube's like, whatever.
Yeah.
Anyways, we can jump into Hank Green a little bit and hear a little bit of what Hank Green has to say, and we'll, before we what's going on? The rotating wheel of death.
Wheel of death is going.
Direwolves are back, or are they? There's a biotechnology company called Colossal that is attempting to de-extinct various animals, and they have just claimed that they have de-extincted their first animal, not just their first animal, the first animal to ever be de-extincted. And that claim does not, in my opinion, hold up to scrutiny. However, there are a number of truly remarkable things that are part of this announcement that allow me to still be excited about it, despite the fact that I think they're saying some stuff that they shouldn't say. So this video is the good, the bad, and the
I don't know what's going on with the screen blinking like that, so let's see if that kind of stops.
Up wrong of this announcement. And the realization that we are all going to come to in the end here is that what was done is in some ways more remarkable, but also almost certainly more scary than de-extinction. Because if you could say that a species was created here, it is a species that has never existed before. This is not bringing a species back. This is the wholesale creation of a new species by humans, of large mammal. And that is indeed new. But there's so much here that I feel...
Yeah, DNA his hair is straightening out. I noticed that too. Johnny, did you know what happened to him? He had. Do you know much about Hank Green?
I don't.
He had cancer in the last year, so he got diagnosed with cancer. And I think the good news is it was very treatable. So I think he's already I don't know if he's considered recovered at this point or in remission.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I believe that the chemo and stuff went well, and he did lose his hair. And when it grew back, it came back in curly. He had straight, just standard straight hair, and it came back really curly, it was really tight curls. And I'm noticing here that his hair is starting to straighten out a bit. So, because he was like, "What's this about?" So
he does bring up another interesting point, like a counterpoint to your. We need to have Jurassic Park because we're not de-extincting animals; we're creating new species. So we wouldn't really be creating a T-Rex; we'd be creating something else.
And Dominus Rex, we got this.
Yeah.
It's not going to be able to chameleon like that bullshit on the movie, though, okay?
Well, but it wouldn't be as fun.
I understand, but I will refuse to invest in a company that makes a chameleon Jurassic World.
Yeah.
I want to be able to see the terror coming.
Right.
But yeah, so I just thought that was interesting about his hair, too.
I feel like the way to get through it all is to just watch the video that announced this, and I'm going to react to little pieces of it, bit by bit.
Everyone likes to talk about the climate crisis.
We just watched this, motherfucker.
Is the problem that no one is de-extincting animals? No. Like, I don't think that this guy would say that the problem is no one is de-extincting animals. The problem is that humans continue to encroach on more and more habitat every year. We're doing it slower than we used to, especially per capita, but we're still doing it.
Some scientists have estimated that by 2050, half of all species that are alive today will be extinct.
So 2050 is 25 years away. I don't know that any scientists have made this claim. It would be really weird to me if they had, but I'm gonna Google it. So here it is. Biologists think 50% of species will be facing extinction by the end of the century. Currently, 1 in 10 are facing extinction. So that's not extinct. That's in danger of becoming extinct. And I can believe that. And I could see how that stat could get translated in conversations to half of species alive today will be extinct by 2050. And please do not take this as me saying that this isn't a problem and we don't need to face it. Obviously, we need to face it. It's just a fact that I wanted to check because it seemed off to me, and indeed it is off, but like, whatever. Is this the world's first de-extinction? No. I don't see any reason why these animals would not be considered gray wolves. They are genetically modified gray wolves. If you would consider them a separate species, then you would have to consider them a synthetic species, and you would not consider them to be a species or even a relative, really, of dire wolves. But whatever.
People think it's a scary word, de-extinction. They immediately put us with Jurassic Park, and it's not.
In the circles I
Okay, let's see what Hanks has to really say about this, okay?
travel in, de-extinction isn't scary because of Jurassic Park. It's scary because, like, we're trying to figure out how to do ecosystems. And the ecosystems are very flexible and mobile, and when something comes out of an ecosystem, that can cause problems, and trying to put it back in once it's been gone for a long time can also cause problems.
That's the same point I made.
Actually,
Hey.
We made we made similar points.
They don't have wings. They're not going to escape, Johnny. Come on, everything's good. We've built the walls like 10% higher than they were in the movie, okay? There's like Samuel L. Jackson is not in charge of the power systems anymore.
Well,
okay, we've
got
SpaceX interns, okay?
Whoa, it wasn't Sam Jackson. It wasn't Sam Jackson was a good one.
It was no, he's just not in charge anymore. Like, that guy couldn't crack a code to say. I mean, he's supposed to be the IT guy. I mean, come on, he just you haven't said the magic word. He was so stressed out with that smoke in his mouth. Come on! Fucking smoke hanging out of his mouth.
He was my favorite character in that movie.
He was a good character.
Yeah.
I thought it was funny how that guy gets fucking taken out by the fucking Jalapa, or the one that like.
Oh yeah.
He didn't even make it to the fucking port.
Yeah.
Like, he's done. He's like, go get the stick, stupid! Get the stick.
Dennis Nedry.
I wouldn't have pulled that name out. That's good on you.
Yeah.
Humans are like a cancer to the planet. They are.
Personally opposed to the idea of de-extinction. I know lots of people who are, but I think that it's an active conversation that we're not going to have right now. But like, it's not because people think that like Newman from Seinfeld's going to get eaten by a dinosaur.
As we lose species within an ecosystem, if you think of a Jenga puzzle, you're sort of pulling blocks out of there. Those blocks that are creating the instability in the ecosystem is literally the function that animal plays. If we can find ways to restore animals that provide that specific function, we can create more stability within an ecosystem.
So this is the argument that Colossal makes, that they have de-extincted a dire wolf. This is a cogent argument that I just don't think is a good argument to make using the word de-extinction. I think using the word de-extinction is really about marketing in this case. And also it's not about dire wolves, because we're not going to put dire wolves back in an ecosystem that would benefit from them, because that ecosystem died out tens of thousands of years ago. So like
I got an ecosystem for them. It's got fences, a little bit of electricity. There's no problem. Liam Neeson will visit them every once in a while. It'll be good for photo ops. Um, by the way, if anybody's wondering, the name of this channel is Hank's channel. This is Hank Green. He's arguably a smart dude. I mean, I say arguably in the sense of like smarter than my ass. I just mean like, a lot of this is opinion, but opinion based on, understanding, I would say.
Yeah.
Very few of the animals that direwolves would prey on still exist, for example. But the argument that they're making that this is de-extinction is that we have these Jenga blocks and we're pulling blocks out. And if you can slide another block in there, then the ecosystem won't collapse as long as it fills that same niche, as long as it fits into that Jenga block spot. And it's not just like every block is the same size. There's lots of all different sizes of Jenga blocks that are all moving around and all evolving to exist with each other. This is an okay metaphor, actually. Imagine a Jenga tower that's made out of millions of blocks that are constantly moving and responding to each other. And if you take out a big one, there will not be time for the blocks to react to each other and the ecosystem may collapse. And so you want to slot one in real quick. And in that case, what you could do is you wouldn't have to grab the existing animal that went extinct. You could create an animal that serves that same niche, that is close enough to that blob that you can plop it in there and then the ecosystem will recover.
He does cover some problems here, I think, and I'm trying to remember. I mean, I didn't make any notes on where they are here, so I'm letting him talk a little bit. I didn't. You're right.
And that's why they're making the case that these wolves are a de-extinction, because theoretically they might be direwolf shaped enough that they would slot into the direwolf-shaped hole left behind by the actual direwolves that went extinct. Now, I am going to explain why these aren't direwolves. I can't just say that. I know that. It's just that we haven't reached that point in the video yet. Now,
so I'm going to see if I can't. Maybe that's here. So what do you have to say about this so far, Johnny?
I mean, he's not saying anything that I disagree with.
No, I know. There's not much to go on there. I'm just trying not to. I'm trying to be transformative here. I don't want to.
No, for certain.
I don't want to just play Hank's content on him.
Yeah, what I mean to say is, when he talks about like the Jenga analogy, he had the same thoughts that I did. It's not analogous per se, right? I understand what they're trying to say. Like, there's a hole that we need to fill, and I think they should have just said that, because I don't know about you, but as somebody who's played Jenga, when you take out a block, if you try to put one back in, you have more of a chance of fucking up the whole goddamn thing than you do just continuing to play the game.
Well, yeah, it's like if you just sit there and hammered one in without knowing exactly how it's, without doing any sort of load-bearing study and stuff like that. You just adding, it's like if you're renovating and you're like, we don't need this beam, right? Fucking blow that thing out.
Yeah.
10 years later, the house is sagging. Which he does talk about. I don't know if he's going to if we're going to catch that spot, because I don't want to watch like 100% of his content or nothing. But he does mention that like one of the things to be concerned about is like direwolves are larger, for example. So a direwolf actually has more cells in its body than a smaller wolf would have. And so there's all these other things that it's not just a matter of saying, oh, we'll make a bigger wolf. But there's going to be other, like when he said about things evolving together, there will be other mechanisms that the animal's genetics have produced over the years to try to like prevent cancer, because there's more cells in the body, and there's different animals have different ways of trying to deal with things like cancer and stuff like that, right? That they've evolved.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So, wasn't it alligators that don't think get cancer? It was alligators or something?
Alligators and blue whales.
No, okay, blue whales. I was going to mention blue whales. It's actually not that blue. So
yeah, and we talked about this. Yeah.
Yeah, the new theory isn't that blue whales don't get cancer. The theory, because what they said when they started looking at this, they said, why aren't they getting cancer? They said, like, mathematically, they have so many more cells than us that at some point they must get cancer somewhere, because cancer is almost like an inevitability of like biology. Like it's like a printing error in your cell production. And every time you get millions of, you get all these divisions that are happening, and eventually you're going to get a printing error. So they said that, I guess the new theory with blue whales, for people who haven't heard it, is that they do get cancer. It's just that they are actually so large. So cancer has this thing where it's like self-limiting in a lot of ways, because it's like it starts like eating itself at some point. I can't remember what it was. There's a detail there I'm probably missing, and I'm probably not putting enough nuance into. But there is something to do with your body actually can defeat cancer, but a lot of times the cancer grows faster than the body's able to adapt and like figure out how to fight it and stuff. As well as the cancer, I think also, I feel like it cuts off blood flow in a way where it actually self-limits to a certain degree. So a lot of tumors of like their course of action is actually like to eventually small again if they anyways. Basically, their new study determined that they do believe that blue whales get cancer, but they think that because they're so large that even if they get a tumor that's this big, it's only like it's such a small like they said, a tumor this big in a human is X many percent, 10 or 15% of the mass, or it might be 20% of the mass of the human.
Right.
But whereas a blue whale could get a tumor this big and it would be point something percent of its mass.
Yeah, right. It's not the same.
Yeah, so it's like you getting a boil under your skin and being like, what the fuck?
Right.
Like, it's not a big enough threat to the size of their biology, essentially. Right. And then they self-limit, so they basically then the blue whale, like the cancer actually goes away. Can't remember what it was. I thought it was something about cutting off their own blood supply, or there's something to cancer.
Like that. It's the way.
No, that's what it is. Cancer, because it replicates so quickly, it actually can produce. Eventually, there's actually multiple cancers within the cancer, and they compete with each other because they're all like different printing errors, and so they actually start fighting over resources, and for that reason, they tend to limit themselves. I think was what it was in a study they did. But anyways, you'd have to look that up. I am not a cancer expert.
I'm not an oncologist either.
An oncologist, yeah, good words. I like big words,
It is a way for me to experience
back in 2 seconds
the social nature of the internet without being on the social internet, which is good. All right, now we're going back into the video here.
There was a massive study that did many samples across multiple institutions.
It was a collaborative effort. I'm glad that they said that. It would have been nice for them to actually name the institutions, because I'm sure that this science was funded by the federal government funding science.
So what you can do is you can map that to its closest living relative. So at Colossal, we're using the gray wolf.
So this is a very interesting moment in the video to me. This woman has said, we're going to map that to its closest living relative. And then the next line is, so Colossal are using the gray wolf. And that indicates to me, like, you would listen to that and think that the gray wolf is the closest living relative of the dire wolf. It would seem, looking especially just at the skeletons, that dire wolves and gray wolves are closely related to each other. But from our current understanding, a paper published in 2021 that looked at the DNA of dire wolves, that isn't just like a little bit wrong, it's like wildly wrong. The paper is called Dire Wolves Were the Last of an Ancient New World Canid Lineage. There are many authors on this paper, including some people who work at Colossal. And the findings from that paper are that dire wolves and gray wolves diverged, like their last common ancestor was almost 6 million years ago. The most recent...
I don't know why this is having troubles. I'm just gonna re-grab this window because for some reason it's not liking something there.
Common ancestor between chimps and humans was between 6 and 7 million years ago. So not that far back, but like close. As much as I love a chimpanzee and sometimes I see a chimpanzee skeleton and I'm like, that's just a little person. They're not. They're different. Very different species. Now, sometimes for a very long time, many traits can be conserved, but that doesn't actually seem to be what happened here. So if this was 5 million years ago that this diverged, then that common ancestor gave rise to jackals, African wild dogs, and wolves. And then what would have happened is that they convergently evolved to have very similar body shapes to gray wolves because they were living in a similar habitat and hunting in similar ways. The people at Colossal are just...
That's funny. It's just like Costco and Sam's Club. I was swore that they were just the same company with different colors. But apparently one of them is Walmart, Sam's Club, and Costco is Costco. And they have completely different ownerships. I learned this from ChatGPT today, by the way, everybody. The reason they're so fucking similar is because they both were made to fit the same niche in the market, and there's only and over time apparently their the way they do things has been refined down to a playbook that's almost identical, which makes sense because if you think about it, if you're going to be successful, whether you be an animal in the wild or you be a store, in retail, the same things that work for one store are going to work for another store. And so there's going to be a formula. And so
Similar
that's what he's talking. Yeah. Well, that's what he's talking about with the fact that,
Yeah.
The animals will be very similar in the way they behave because they fit the same piece of the evolution of like the food chain niche, if you will.
Just rejecting this wholesale. They're saying this is not the case. Gray wolves are the closest living relative of dire wolves. And they say that they have evidence, but they have not provided that evidence, which I find annoying. It also,
Sounds like the Trump administration
kind of is a big part of your argument here. Like, if dire wolves are just giant jackals, they're probably going to look pretty different from gray wolves. And so the thing you've just created, in order to try and make it look like a dire wolf, doesn't actually look like a dire wolf. It looks like a large gray wolf. And dire wolves would be very different because they...
What does a jackal look like? We're going to learn together, everybody. Jackal. Oh, I mean, jackals are pretty small these days.
Like a coyote.
Yeah, it's like a... So for everybody who's not paying attention... Oh, fuck, I keep forgetting I can just switch tabs.
Yeah.
Right there. Jackal.
A little puppy dog.
Hey, a little puppy dog, that's a little bush puppy.
Little guy, little puppy guy. Have you
prairie
seen that
puppy? I don't
dude
know
who has like a wild fucking coyote?
Oh, yes, I know what you're talking about. I know exactly what you're talking about already. He always, like, the videos, he like, pretends it's like he's just trying to make a friend with it. It's digging a hole, and he's like, hi, friend. He's putting his hand inside the fucking hole. Hold on, do you know what his channel's called?
I can't remember.
How do you spell coyote, goddammit? I suck at that word. How do you spell coyote?
Coyote.
See, that doesn't seem right. Yeah, this son of a bitch.
Yeah.
Hey.
Yep.
Oh,
Yeah.
hey, little coyote. Ow. Come here. Can we be friends? Ouch. Come here. Let me pet you. Ouch. Ow. Ow. Come here. Let me be friends. Come here, little coyote. Let me pet you. Ouch. Let me pet you, little coyote. Let me pet you, coyote. Hey.
Viral hog. I'm gonna get tagged by them.
Yeah. Oh, they
must have bought that from him.
Yeah.
Is that the same guy or is it a different guy?
I think that's a different guy.
That's a different guy.
Yeah.
The other guy is funny though. He does the same. It's the same thing all the time. Like,
yeah.
Don't you wrinkle your nose. Whoa, she's a quick one. Ouch.
Apparently,
he's always bite. It's like he can't get tame enough though, right? Like,
yeah. Well, I
still...
think what happened. I think there's two of them that he has, but Weave, I believe, is a girl, so that's the only reason why he's able to.
Oh, I see.
Like, get it as domesticated as it is, but apparently, I think the story is he found her as a pup, abandoned.
You heard it here, people. Girls are more domesticatable. Johnny said it, not me.
Coyotes.
Oh, okay. I see how it is. Sorry. I'm joking, man. I threw him off. Fuck.
Yeah, that's you throwing me under the bus. No, but apparently the story is he found this as a pup and was able to raise her, but still kind of wild. But yeah, he has a cat and another dog, and they all play together like fucking
yeah, they're
the
like
weirdest partridge family ever.
That's just my baby dog. That's just my baby dog.
Is this the same guy?
You be nice.
Yeah, it is.
Can I pet you? Be nice. Don't wrinkle. No wrinkle nose.
Yeah.
Can I pet you? Ouch. Ouch. Can I pet you? Let me pet you. No. Let me pet.
Sorry. I get that he's doing it on purpose, but it's like he's handicapped. I can't just love this puppy.
Take it out on him. Come here, Weave. Come here.
Yeah, that's right. He plays with the
Come here,
dogs,
baby.
right?
Yeah.
Come here. Come here. Come here. You gotta get your nappy coat off.
That's a pissed off animal, isn't it?
Sounds like it.
It has a good life, though. Somebody will see this and then, like, you know how it works, though, eh? I'm surprised he hasn't had, like, wildlife management come out.
I'm sure he has. I'm sure he has.
I mean, is there anything against you actually, like, as long as he's not actually capturing it and trying to turn it into a pet, is there anything wrong with you being friends with an animal?
Some places there are. Like where my mother lives, she's not allowed to feed the deer, even though it's a no hunting zone.
Okay.
But yeah, so there's like they don't want them to be overly domesticated because it could, harm them.
Well, it can lead to problems, right? They
Yeah.
start bringing their family around. I mean, it's
Yeah.
like bears are always a problem. People feed fucking bears, and then the bear starts like, oh, I just give him bacon every Tuesday.
Yeah.
And then the bear, like, starts being like, fuck, I smell bacon. I'm just using it as an example. Next thing you
Right.
know, he's crashing picnic parties and shit.
Right.
And he's heading to the local park because it smells like bacon in the
Smells like bacon, yep.
in the morning while everybody's cooking breakfast around the fire and stuff. So like,
Yep.
it creates those kinds of problems. I know that there was a one time there was a trailer park and the bear. It was like in an adjacent town from where I grew up, and like pretty sure they trapped that bear. Sometimes they have to kill them, but they try not to, right? But man, she's cooking bacon for her kids, and all of a sudden the floorboards in the trailer start because it's like you know what I mean, like trailer, not like
Yeah.
a tow behind, like a
Right,
trailer
right.
park trailer.
Yeah.
And like the floorboards started like banging. The bear, she finally realized what was fucking happening, and it was basically clawing its way through the floor
Yeah.
from underneath. And it actually did break right through. But she, like, I don't think it broke through and got into the space, but it like when they came back later, there was a proper hole in the fucking floor where it had eaten its way through. And she grabbed her kids and fled to like the neighbor's house, and then they had to call the MNR and everything, Ministry of Natural Resources, and they came out and put the trap in the yard, and they said that bear's coming back now. Like, because it smells the bacon, it knows there's food there, it'll come back later the next day. I think it only took them a day or two, and they captured it. So,
Yeah,
it
no,
could be problems.
bears. Their ability to remember where food is uncanny. Like there's this older lady who has like this brown bear that fucking comes into her house, like opens the door, lets himself in, gets a snack, and then just leave.
That's such a stupid idea.
But he always closes the door behind him, so
He's such a nice bear. And then you get these like fucking. You ever see this bullshit like this cat versus? We're off topic now, but I'll just do 10 more seconds of off topic here. It's this fucking like cat and coyote.
That's a fox.
Or sorry, yeah, I meant fox. I don't know why I said coyote. Good call. Like they get. It takes a cat a while to like let the dog or let the coyote in. Or the fucking keep saying coyote, fox.
That's okay.
I know what a fox looks like. I just am having a hard night apparently.
That's okay.
Holy shit! Holy shit!
All right, 1 sec.
That cat come right at that guy. Hold on, I want to see that again. They added sound effects to that. Johnny's not here to agree with me or not, but I'm almost positive they added sound effects to that. Let's see how fast that was, though. We're going forward a frame at a time, everybody. Yeah, it's crazy. Within one frame, that they're both moving. Look at this. Look at it. Look at it. 2 frames back. Barely anything. You get 1 frame of movement right here. And then the next frame of movement, they're both very much moving. Wow. He fucking pulled that mouth back. Ah! Oh, he had a piece of food, the poor guy. Look, I'm just realizing what I saw. Look at it. You can see the poor fucking food fly out of... Aw, poor guy. Look at it. Look, it's right here. Look at it. Look at it. Watch. Look at it. There it is right there. He
Didn't
just
even
dropped
get his bite.
He just dropped his dinner. Look at there it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Poor guy. Anyways, by the way, that's added. Johnny, what do you think? That's added sound effects, right? Yeah, they added like a fucking Chino chop. Anyways, all right. Well, we'll give Hank a few more minutes here, and then we'll, you know, obviously there's so much can be said here. Maybe I'll jump forward to the highlight points everybody's been jumping on here.
It's immortal that will last a really long time. So usually, in order to find those cells, you'd have to create specific. That is that able to find
these specific cells in the blood and then clone from it.
So this is the first of two big pieces of science news, and that is that they were able to find specific cells in blood that they can use to create a cell line. So the way that cells work is that you can take them out of a body and grow them in a petri dish for a little while, but then they die. But there are specific cells in the body, stem cells, cancer cells, you know, certain kinds of cells that you can actually create a cell line out of that's immortal, that will last a really long time. So usually in order to find those cells, you'd have to do a pretty invasive tissue sample. But in this case, they figured out how to do it with blood, which is awesome. I don't know if this is their advance, but that's great. This is cool. For sure. It's going to be great for dog cloning. If people want to have their same dog over again, this will make that easier.
Okay.
We're changing the gene.
I said that to Megan, and she was like, I've seen this fucking movie before. like, because I said, you can have your same dog back, apparently, with this, like, if you really wanted that dog again, because it was, like, the best dog ever. And she was like, that's a fucking horrible idea. The thing is going to eat your face in the night.
Yes.
Because it's going to be it's going to be some sort of horrible creature from the fucking, like, we've seen this horror movie.
Yes, we have. Yes, we have. I forget what it's called. I can't remember.
Oh, what? You thinking of a movie?
I'm trying to remember the movie where it was.
What happens in the movie?
I can't remember. It's been a minute. We watched so many movies on Weekend Horror. I mean, like, we were doing
you're talking about, like, a subpar movie, too. Like, so there's lots of them.
Yeah.
I mean, Weekend Horror was probably a fun... Did you guys get tagged much by the owners of the content?
I don't think so.
That's because they're so old. Half those movies, they probably didn't renew their copyrights. How old was that? A lot of these movies were, like, 50s and 30s and shit, right?
No, we did anything from... You know, like the 20s all the way up to present. Splice, there's one. Splice is one, but that's more of a...
I don't remember Splice.
Black Sheep is another one.
Isn't Black Sheep? What? Aren't I thinking, isn't that the fucking... Chris Farley movie, though? Black Sheep?
There is one called, yeah.
So wait, there's two Black Sheeps? How do you do that?
This one's from 2006.
What? Come on. Am I thinking of the right name? Black Sheep. Movies. Are you saying this is a movie?
Yeah.
Yeah, but the only Black Sheep that comes up is 1996 when I look that up.
Yeah, but there's one because this is such a obscure...
It's like they're so obscure they were allowed to use the name of another movie?
Pretty much. Well, that shit happens often. I mean...
What year was this?
2006.
Well, that's what this movie is. What the fuck? Oh my god, you're right. Oh, okay, hold on. But that's the same fucking year!
You know.
How is that something that exists?
I don't know.
So everybody doesn't think I'm crazy, okay? There is this Black Sheep.
You have to share your screen.
Okay, I'm going to. I'm just getting there. Just 1 second. There is this Black Sheep. We gotta transfer the window over. There's this Black Sheep. And then apparently there's this Black Sheep in the exact same year. What was the... Get the fuck out of here. What was the storyline here?
The Black Sheep just started fucking, like, eating people. Like, they're zombie sheep.
Oh my god. That's so fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Oh man, I don't want to get like age gated or anything, so I'm gonna get off that. But that's crazy. All right, Jesus Christ! Now you learned something new, you know. Where the hell am I, Hank? Where are you? Here you are. We're
I
gonna
got about
jump to
5
the-
more minutes.
All right, all right. Well, we'll let here. Let's go to the biggest part here, I guess, where Hank finishes up. Maybe I guess.
Own exogenous development team so that one day we won't have to use surrogates.
That's wild. That would be the biggest advance that they're trying to work on, is to be able to have a baby mammal be born without a surrogate. So
Yeah, see, he took it like I did. Maybe that's why I took it that way, because I watched him. But I feel like you might be, like, I guess the idea she might be talking about is that they don't need, they like have their own stock essentially.
Yeah,
they don't
right.
Need a
I mean,
surrogate from a.
It's possible they could, I mean, we could extrapolate both from them. They're not mutually exclusive, so.
Well, that's fair. Two things could be true.
Yeah.
not, especially this is a placental mammal. Like, you could kind of see this with marsupials, but with a placental mammal, how do you have a baby be born without a mother? I guess someday we'll get there, but that's wild.
We're a part of the evolutionary.
Anyways, so because you got to get going soon, and besides, we've been going for an hour and 47 minutes, we can start dialing her down here.
Yeah.
Johnny, so last thing I want to point out here, okay? So you're sure that we can't have this? Like you're
100%.
sure about this?
100%. No, we can't have it.
But look at the points they've got here. Look at our fences are definitely taller than T-Rex jump height, probably.
Well, but
we're not gonna get. Listen, here at Rex Corp, we're not going to guarantee that the T-Rex hasn't gotten some sort of jumping from the 13% of frog DNA that we added to it, okay? We're not going to make these kinds of promises. However, we feel confident that we've got this figured out. See, look how happy that guy is, the big thumbs up.
Yeah.
They're getting their photo taken by the T-Rex. It's been a nice tour.
Yeah.
I love AI so much.
It's so funny, yeah.
But yeah, okay. So Johnny is thumbs down on Jurassic Park. I think that it would be great in Siberia, and I feel like that could really be a thing that puts Russia on the map, you know?
Yeah. We need to find out how many, lizard and reptiles actually live in Siberia before we decide if we're going to put Jurassic Park in Siberia.
No. Listen. We've already done research with pigs. We know all about gray fat. We can add a little, or is it brown fat? The one that produces heat?
Yeah, I think it's
brown fat or something. We just need to add a little brown fat to the genetics. It's not going to have any adverse effects, okay? We have the technology. We know what we're doing, Johnny. We'll just make them so they're slightly warm-blooded. Then they can go everywhere. And remember, the velociraptors will very quickly learn to open doors. It's nothing to be concerned about.
Right.
We've been training them.
Yeah.
We think it's an evolution,
Yep.
T-Rex with longer arms is nasty because it's frustrated. Give the T-Rex longer arms. That's the Family Guy. You've seen that one on Family Guy, right?
I think I've seen, yeah.
It's the one where he's got the loop set up and he's got his computer and he's like ready to, self-stimulate, and he like he tries to reach down his tiny little arms, and that's when he like blows the computer over and gets all angry and runs away with his tiny little arms. Oh man, I love Family Guy too much. But anyways, Johnny's got to go. Okay, so Johnny, I don't think we know of a topic for next week. Are you around next week? Are we still gonna?
Yeah, I mean, I still should be good for next week. I don't think I have anything scheduled for that specific Wednesday, so.
We don't have any specific. Oh yeah, really quick. My wife actually got shingles.
Oh no.
So she just started getting. She's had it before, but she started getting the rash on her midsection, just like only on the one side of the body. And I was like doing the whole WebMD thing last night. And I'm like, I don't know, that looks like shingles. So she went to a doctor today. But
should she get the shingle vaccine?
Well, they wouldn't give it to her last time she had it because it was like 13 years ago already. So, but they said that they've lowered the age for the shingles vaccine. So if the conspiracy theorists are right, she's due for a cardiac event in like God knows how long.
Yeah.
T-, exactly. So I guess we'll find out. But that's what's new in my life right now. So like I said, we don't really know what we're gonna stream next week. Johnny and I will tag back and forth. There is we could talk about idea, and obviously that's going to be a whole topic about Trump again if we do that. So we plan to do that. We're just trying to spread that out a little bit, so we're not just hanging on his coattails. And plus, audience has mixed opinions. So other than that, Johnny, you had a good night. It was a good topic.
Heck yeah, man.
I feel like we had fun talking about it.
Oh yeah, I knew this was going to be a fun one because of the Jurassic Park thing. I mean, it was just going to be fun. It was just going to happen.
I told you I'd have a 5-point presentation ready, and I made sure it was ready. Okay.
It was ready.
But yeah, I had a good time. I appreciate you coming by. Thanks for hanging out with me. And and we'll figure out a topic, and we'll meet again next week, everybody. How's everybody else doing? Thank you very much, audience. I'm not going to go through the name completely like a roll. Oh, on that note, real quick, did you hear that Kaiser's actually going to jail probably?
Yeah, the open pled, I thought, and he's been convicted. And
I don't have any ill will on the guy. I just think it's interesting. It's like watching through the glass from over here.
Kind of what happens when you murder people.
That's not why he's going to prison. He's
an idiot.
They got him on all the other things like not being in the right state and anyways, whatever. I'll be honest with you. I know this much about it. I think it's fascinating, to be honest with you, but I don't wish anything upon anybody at this point. But he probably did murder that guy. Anyways, so have a good night, everybody. Thanks, Johnny. I got to get you out of here. I talk too much. Have a good night. See everybody later. Thank you much.